Admiral Reina Martinez stood at the viewport of the International Space Defense Command, her weathered face illuminated by the ethereal glow of the massive Valdorian vessel hanging in Earth's orbit. The ship's crystalline structure caught the sunlight, fracturing it into rainbow patterns across the command center's walls. 6 months had passed since first contact, and something felt wrong. Another diplomatic transmission from High Commander Ixil, Admiral, Lieutenant Kai Patel reported, his fingers dancing across the holographic interface. They're requesting access to our quantum computing facilities. Again. Martinez's jaw tightened. The Valdorians had arrived bearing gifts, clean energy technology, advanced medical treatments, and promises of cultural exchange. But their requests had grown increasingly specific, increasingly military in nature. Send the standard response, she ordered. We're honored by their interest but require additional time to prepare our facilities for their inspection. Her dark eyes narrowed as she studied the alien vessel. And Kai? Make sure our shadow protocol stays active. Across the globe, humanity played the role of grateful primitives while building what might be their last line of defense. Deep beneath the Mariana Trench, Dr. Rashid Nazari supervised the construction of massive electromagnetic pulse generators. In the Atacama Desert, Colonel Jade Wong's teams tested experimental phase shift shields, reverse-engineered from accidentally leaked Valdorian data. The Valdorians thought they were being subtle. They didn't realize humans had written the book on deception. Admiral, Kai's voice cracked with urgency. We're detecting energy spikes from the Valdorian vessel. They're different this time. Martinez was already moving. Sound the alert. Quiet protocol is now active. Her voice remained steady as she activated the global command channel. All stations, this is Sierra Actual. Grey Wolf hunts at midnight. Across Earth, hidden preparations sprang to life. Civilian populations began their practiced evacuations to underground shelters, moving with deliberate panic, enough chaos to be believable, enough order to be effective. Military installations powered down their primary systems, switching to heavily shielded backup networks. The first strike came at dawn. The Valdorian energy beams lanced through the atmosphere, targeting what their reconnaissance had identified as Earth's primary defense installations. They hit empty buildings, abandoned bases, and automated decoy systems. Impact assessment. Martinez demanded, standing in the real ISDC command center, buried 2 kilometers beneath the Antarctic ice. Minimal, Admiral, reported Commander Yuki Tanaka, head of Global Defense Analytics. They hit the honeypots exactly as predicted. Civilian casualties at less than 0.1% thanks to the evacuation protocols. The Valdorians appear to be following standard invasion pattern Alpha 7. Martinez allowed herself a grim smile. For 2 years before the Valdorians' arrival, Earth's quantum AI systems had been running simulations, predicting possible first contact scenarios. The moment the aliens appeared, their behavior had matched pattern 2187, peaceful approach, technological superiority, gradual intelligence gathering, followed by overwhelming force. Humanity had been preparing for this moment since they first looked up at the stars. They're launching drop ships, Kai announced. Estimated 10,000 troops in the first wave. Primary targets appear to be major population centers. Right on schedule, Martinez nodded. Begin Phase 2. Authorization code, Humanity's Shadow. Across the planet, hidden sensors tracked the alien drop ship's descent. In labs and bunkers, engineers and scientists finalized their preparations. The Valdorians would find their ground invasion just as empty as their orbital strikes, but this time, humanity would be watching, learning, and adapting. High Commander Ixil's holographic image appeared on the command center's main screen, his crystalline features arranged in what the Valdorians considered a victory pose. People of Earth, he announced, your primitive defenses have been neutralized. Surrender now, and we will be merciful in our. Martinez cut the transmission with a gesture. They love to monologue, don't they? She turned to her staff, her expression hard. The Valdorians chose this war, convinced of their superiority. But they forgot something crucial: humans have been preparing for this moment since we first told stories around campfires. We've imagined this scenario in 1,000 different ways. We've fought this war in our minds for centuries. She walked to the central tactical display, watching as red dots representing Valdorian forces spread across the globe. They think they're hunting us. They don't realize they've walked into our trap. Humanity wrote the rules of this engagement long before they arrived. All sectors reporting ready, Admiral, Kai announced. Adaptive defense systems are online. Quantum analysis is processing Valdorian weapons signatures. Underground manufacturing centers are beginning production of countermeasures. Martinez nodded, her voice carrying the weight of humanity's future. Let them think they've won. Let them grow comfortable in their supposed victory. Because when we strike back. She paused, looking at each member of her command staff. When we strike back, the Valdorians will learn why humanity has survived every catastrophe our world has thrown at us. We are not just fighting for our survival, we are fighting for every species that these conquerors have subjugated. As the Valdorian forces began their ground occupation of seemingly abandoned cities, humanity watched, waited, and prepared. In hidden bunkers, engineers analyzed alien technology. In underwater bases, scientists developed new weapons. In mountain fortresses, strategists planned the counterattack. The real war hadn't even begun. 3 months into the occupation, High Commander Ixil stood in his crystalline command tower rising above the ruins of former New York, watching clouds drift between empty skyscrapers. The silence unsettled him. The humans had vanished like smoke, leaving behind only echoes and shadows. Status report, he demanded, his crystalline form reflecting the pale morning light. Subcommander Vex's hologram materialized. We've secured 82% of their major population centers, Commander. Resistance has been minimal. There was an edge of uncertainty in his voice. Almost non-existent. And that doesn't concern you? Ixil's crystalline fragments shifted, creating a sharp grinding sound. Billions of humans. Gone. Their military bases abandoned. Their weapons untouched. This isn't submission, Subcommander. This is strategy. Deep beneath the streets of Paris, that strategy was taking shape. Director Isabella Romano of the European Underground Research Division watched as her teams dismantled a captured Valdorian scout vessel. The alien ship's crystalline structure had proved to be both its greatest strength and its critical weakness. The crystalline matrix responds to specific harmonic frequencies, Dr. Nikolai Volkov explained, his hands moving through the holographic model. Their entire technology is based on crystal resonance. Which means we can shatter them, Isabella finished, her eyes gleaming. How soon can we weaponize this? 2 weeks for the prototype. Maybe a month for full production. In the hydroponics section of the Midwest Underground Complex, formerly known as Kansas, farms stretched for kilometers beneath the Earth's surface. Professor James Running Bear supervised the cultivation of genetically modified crops designed to feed millions. The Valdorians believed they had destroyed Earth's food production capability. They didn't understand that humanity had moved its beating heart beneath the ground. Admiral Martinez's voice crackled through the quantum-encrypted communication network, status report from all sectors. Asian underground reporting, came Colonel Wong's voice. Reverse-engineered shield technology at 89% efficiency. Production of electromagnetic pulse weapons proceeding ahead of schedule. African complex online, reported General Kwame Okonjo. Guerrilla teams ready for deployment. Crystal resonance weapons in final testing phase. South American base prepared, Director Carlos Santos confirmed. Biomimetic stealth systems operational. Waiting for go code. Martinez absorbed the reports, her fingers tracing patterns on the tactical display. The Valdorians controlled the surface, but they were blind to the web being woven beneath their feet. Humanity had turned the entire planet into a trap, and the enemy hadn't even realized they were the prey. New development, Kai reported, his voice tight with excitement. The Valdorians are beginning to withdraw troops from smaller cities. They're consolidating their forces in major metropolitan areas. Just as predicted, Martinez nodded. They can't maintain their spread. Not with zero resistance making them jumpy. Paranoia is setting in. In his tower, Ixil was reaching the same conclusion. Deploy the resonance scanners, he ordered. I want every square meter of this planet examined. The humans are here. Find them. But the resonance scanners found nothing. Humanity had learned about crystal technology from the moment the Valdorians arrived, developing countermeasures before the first shot was fired. Underground bases were lined with materials that absorbed and scattered crystal resonance. Every human settlement was a dead zone to Valdorian sensors. The resistance wasn't just hiding, it was growing stronger. In abandoned subway tunnels, soldiers trained with new weapons designed to exploit Valdorian weaknesses. In converted mining facilities, factories produced specialized ammunition that could penetrate crystalline armor. In underwater research stations, scientists perfected sonic weapons that could shatter Valdorian technology. We're ready to begin Phase 3, Martinez announced to her global command staff. But first, we need to make them angry. Make them sloppy. Operation Ghost began at midnight. Across the globe, small teams of specially trained soldiers emerged from hidden entrances. They moved like shadows through occupied cities, planting sonic devices at key structural points. The devices were programmed to activate randomly, sending out pulses that would create hairline fractures in Valdorian crystal technology. The psychological impact was devastating. The invaders began to see their own technology failing inexplicably. Crystal vehicles developed cracks. Communication arrays shattered without warning. The mighty Valdorian war machine began to show signs of stress. They're escalating their search patterns, Kai reported, watching the enemy movements. Ground troops are up 300% in major cities. They're getting desperate. Martinez studied the tactical display, watching red dots of Valdorian forces cluster and spread like searching fingers. Good. The more resources they commit to searching, the fewer they have in reserve. How are our production quotas? All sectors reporting maximum capacity, Commander Tanaka confirmed. Crystal resonance weapons stockpile at 87% of target. Shield systems at 92%. Sonic disruptors at 95%. The Admiral nodded slowly. Send word to all sectors. Maintain absolute radio silence. No unauthorized movement. Let them wear themselves out searching. She paused, watching as another Valdorian patrol passed uselessly over a massive underground facility. We've spent 3 months playing dead. Soon, we'll show them just how alive we are. In his tower, Ixil received another report of failed equipment, of sensors showing nothing but empty cities and abandoned infrastructure. He struck his crystalline command console, sending fractures spreading through its surface. Where are they? He demanded of the empty air. What are they planning? The answer was everywhere and nowhere. In the darkness beneath his feet, in the shadows between buildings, in the depths of the oceans, humanity was coiled like a spring. Waiting. Preparing. 3 months of occupation had taught them everything about their enemy. Every weakness. Every vulnerability. Every flaw in their crystalline perfection. The art of playing dead was reaching its final act. Soon, the hunters would learn what it meant to become the hunted. Operation Shadowstrike began with a whisper. At precisely 0300 hours GMT, in cities across the globe, the underground resistance emerged like ghosts from their hidden sanctuaries. The timing was deliberate, Valdorian crystal technology was at its weakest during Earth's coldest hours, their resonance patterns dulled by the lower temperatures. All strike teams, execute, Admiral Martinez's command echoed through quantum-encrypted channels. I say again, Operation Shadow Strike is go. In occupied Tokyo, Commander Hiroshi Tanaka led his team through the maze of underground tunnels. Each soldier carried newly developed resonance rifles, weapons that could send targeted sonic pulses through Valdorian crystal armor, shattering it from within. They moved in perfect silence, their suits equipped with crystal dampening technology. The first Valdorian patrol never saw them coming. The crystalline soldiers shattered like frozen glass under the precise sonic bursts. No alarms, no warnings, just the quiet tinkle of falling crystal shards. Strike Team Alpha, first objective secured, Tanaka whispered into his comm, moving to secondary target. Similar scenes played out across the planet. In Moscow, Colonel Svetlana Petrova's forces emerged from the metro tunnels, targeting Valdorian communication hubs. In Rio de Janeiro, Captain Miguel Santos led amphibious teams from underwater bases, striking coastal fortifications. Each team moved with surgical precision, their attacks coordinated through quantum entanglement communications that the Valdorians couldn't detect or interrupt. High Commander Ixil was awakened by the sound of shattering crystal. His personal guards were disintegrating, their crystalline forms breaking apart under invisible attacks. Report, he roared into the command network. What's happening? But the reports were fragmentary, confused. Across the globe, Valdorian forces were under attack by an enemy they couldn't see or detect. Their superior technology, based on crystal resonance, was being turned against them. In the Antarctic Command Center, Martinez watched the tactical display with grim satisfaction. Phase 1 of Shadow Strike proceeding as planned, she noted. How are they responding? Exactly as predicted, Kai replied, monitoring enemy communications. They're activating their heavy units, bringing out their capital ships for orbital bombardment. Perfect. Martinez allowed herself a small smile. Signal all teams. Begin Phase 2. The Valdorians' response was predictably overwhelming. Massive crystalline warships descended from orbit, their weapons charging for devastating strikes. But as they fired, their energy beams encountered something new, adaptive shield technology, reverse-engineered from their own systems and enhanced by human ingenuity. The shields didn't just block the attacks, they absorbed the energy and redirected it, using the Valdorians' own power against them. Each blast meant to destroy a human position instead fed the network of power collectors hidden beneath the Earth's surface. Energy collection at 60% capacity, reported Dr. Nazari from the Mariana Trench facility. Crystal resonance weapons charging beyond expected parameters. We can thank our friends above for the power boost. The ground war intensified. Valdorian forces, accustomed to straightforward combat, found themselves fighting shadows. Human strike teams would appear, cause devastating damage, and vanish into hidden entrances that sealed seamlessly behind them. Every Valdorian advance was met with traps, every secure position compromised by attacks from unexpected angles. In Delhi, resistance forces led by Major Priya Sharma demonstrated the effectiveness of the new tactics. Her teams used portable sonic disruptors to create crystalline avalanches, trapping Valdorian heavy units in their own shattered technology. When enemy reinforcements arrived, they found only empty streets and disabled equipment. They're learning, Sharma reported after another successful strike. Starting to adapt their patterns. But it's too late, we know them better than they know themselves. The humans had spent 3 months studying every aspect of Valdorian behavior, technology, and tactics. Now they exploited each weakness with methodical precision. Crystal resonance weapons shattered enemy armor. Sonic disruptors disrupted their communication networks. EMPs calibrated to specific frequencies disabled their weapons while leaving human technology unaffected. Status report from all sectors, Martinez demanded. European theater reporting successful elimination of all primary Valdorian command centers, Director Romano confirmed. Moving to secondary targets. Asian coalition forces have secured 60% of targeted infrastructure, Colonel Wong added. Enemy forces are retreating to defensive positions. African Command reporting destruction of major crystal processing facilities, General Okonjo's voice was tight with satisfaction. The enemy's ability to repair and replace their technology has been compromised. In his increasingly isolated command tower, Ixil watched his empire crumble. The humans weren't just fighting back, they were systematically dismantling everything the Valdorians had built. Each attack revealed new weaknesses in crystal technology that his forces had never considered. Launch full orbital bombardment, he ordered, his voice cracking with desperation. Reduce their cities to ash. But as the Valdorian ships moved into position, they encountered another surprise. Hidden solar mirrors unfurled in orbit, focusing the sun's energy into precise beams that superheated the crystalline vessels. The thermal shock caused catastrophic fractures throughout their structures. Sir, Kai's voice carried a note of fierce pride, Operation Shadowstrike Phase 2 is complete. All primary objectives secured. Enemy forces are in full retreat in 78% of targeted areas. Martinez nodded, studying the tactical display where blue dots representing human forces were systematically eliminating red Valdorian positions. They thought technology alone would win this war, she mused. They forgot that humanity's greatest weapon has always been our ability to adapt, to turn our enemies' strengths against them. The wolves had emerged from the dark, and they were hungry for victory. The real question now was, how far would humanity go to ensure this never happened again? The liberation of Earth began at dawn. As the sun rose over each time zone, humanity's coordinated counteroffensive rolled across the planet like an unstoppable tide. The Valdorians, their forces already decimated by Operation Shadowstrike, found themselves facing an enemy that had shed its cloak of secrecy and now struck with overwhelming force. All sectors, commence Operation Daybreak, Admiral Martinez commanded. The time for shadows is over. The orbital defense grid, hidden in plain sight disguised as defunct satellites and space debris, hummed to life. Thousands of platforms, each equipped with crystal resonance weapons and solar mirrors, created a web of destruction above the Earth. Valdorian ships trying to escape or provide support to their ground forces found themselves trapped in a killing field. Orbital grid performing beyond expectations, Kai reported, his fingers dancing across holographic controls. Enemy fleet losses at 67% and climbing. They're trying to regroup at Lagrange Point 4. Martinez nodded grimly. Deploy the Sunbreaker satellites. Let's see how their crystal ships handle concentrated ultraviolet radiation. In orbit, massive solar collectors unfolded like mechanical flowers, focusing the sun's most destructive rays onto the Valdorian fleet. The crystalline vessels, designed to be beautiful and imposing, became their own worst enemy. The focused light refracted through their structures, creating internal resonance cascades that shattered them from within. On the ground, the battle for Earth's cities had entered its final phase. In Moscow, Colonel Petrova led her forces in a frontal assault on the Valdorian command center. The aliens had fortified their position with crystalline barriers, but they hadn't counted on humanity's latest innovation. Deploy the harmonic breakers, Petrova ordered. The devices, looking like simple metal spheres, rolled toward the alien fortifications. As they activated, they emitted precisely calibrated frequencies that turned the crystal barriers into dust. In the ruins of Hong Kong, Colonel Wong's forces demonstrated the effectiveness of hybrid warfare. Teams of soldiers equipped with reverse-engineered Valdorian technology fought alongside conventional forces. Crystal resonance rifles worked in concert with traditional explosives, each complementing the other's strengths. They're retreating toward the harbor, Wong reported. Right into the trap. Beneath the harbor's waters, automated submarines waited, their sonic weapons calibrated to the exact frequency that would turn the seawater itself into a weapon against crystalline technology. When the Valdorians reached the waterfront, the submarines attacked. The combined effect of sonic waves and water pressure turned the alien force into glittering sand. High Commander Ixil, watching from his increasingly isolated command tower in New York, felt something he had never experienced before: fear. The humans weren't just defeating his forces, they were systematically destroying the very foundations of Valdorian military doctrine. "Launch the crystal seeds," he commanded, his voice cracking. "If we cannot have this world, we will make it uninhabitable." The crystal seeds were the Valdorians' ultimate weapon, self-replicating crystalline structures that could convert organic matter into crystal, transforming entire planets into uninhabitable crystalline wastes. As the seeds began to fall from the remaining Valdorian ships, humanity revealed its final surprise. "Initiate Protocol Gaia," Martinez ordered. Across the planet, hidden electromagnetic pulse generators activated, their frequencies precisely tuned to the crystal seeds' resonance. The seeds shattered before they could reach the ground, their remains forming a brief, beautiful aurora in the upper atmosphere. "Ma'am," Kai's voice was tight with excitement, "we're detecting massive energy signatures from the underground facilities. All power collection systems are at maximum capacity." Martinez allowed herself a fierce smile. "Signal all sectors. Begin the final phase." From hidden silos, mountains, and ocean depths, humanity's ultimate weapons emerged. Massive energy projectors, powered by 3 months of collected Valdorian weapons fire, aimed at the sky. The combined beam struck the main Valdorian fleet at Lagrange Point 4, the energy turning their mighty armada into a spectacular display of falling stars. "They're broadcasting a surrender signal," Kai announced. On screen, Martinez ordered. High Commander Ixil's hologram appeared, his crystalline form showing visible cracks. "How?" he demanded. "How did you achieve this level of technology so quickly?" Martinez's response was cold. "We didn't. We achieved this level of preparation. Every attack you launched, every weapon you fired, every technology you displayed, we studied it all. You gave us 3 months to learn your weaknesses, and we used every second." In cities across the globe, the last Valdorian forces were being eliminated or captured. Human scientists were already at work, not just dismantling alien technology, but understanding it, improving it, making it their own. "Status report from all sectors," Martinez commanded. "European command reports all major cities secured," Romano confirmed. "Asian sectors cleared of enemy forces," Wong added. "African continent fully liberated," Okonjo announced with pride. "South American forces report mission accomplished," Santos concluded. The admiral studied the tactical display, watching as the last red dots representing Valdorian forces winked out. "Send word to all commands," she ordered. "Operation Daybreak is complete. But our work is just beginning." As the dust settled over Earth's battlefields, humanity faced a new reality. They had not just survived an alien invasion, they had emerged stronger, more unified, and with access to technology that would reshape their civilization. The question now was, what would they do with this power? The final battle for Earth's future unfolded in the space above the planet. The remaining Valdorian fleet, a mere shadow of its former glory, had consolidated around their flagship, a massive crystalline structure that dwarfed all other vessels. High Commander Ixil had called for reinforcements from the Empire, but humanity had no intention of allowing them to arrive. "All stations, prepare for Operation Starfall," Admiral Martinez commanded from the newly commissioned Earth defense vessel Prometheus. The ship, built in secret beneath the Pacific Ocean, represented humanity's first true space warship, a hybrid of human innovation and reversed-engineered Valdorian technology. Enemy reinforcements detected at the edge of the solar system, Kai reported from his station. Estimated arrival time, 6 hours. Martinez nodded. Then we have 5 hours to end this. Deploy the quantum net. Across the solar system, hidden installations on Mars, Venus, and various asteroids activated. Quantum entanglement fields spread between them, creating a vast web that would prevent any faster-than-light travel within the solar system. The Valdorian reinforcements would arrive to find their compatriots already defeated. You still don't understand what you're facing, do you, Commander? Martinez transmitted to Ixel's flagship. Every moment you spent believing you were winning, we were learning. Every victory you celebrated was another piece of our puzzle. The response came in the form of a massive energy blast from the Valdorian flagship. But this time, humanity was ready. The Prometheus's shields, designed using 3 months of combat data, didn't just absorb the attack, they reformed it into a focused beam that struck back at the enemy fleet. Launch the Wolf Pack, Martinez ordered. From Earth's hidden shipyards emerged humanity's answer to Valdorian capital ships, smaller, faster vessels equipped with sonic resonance cannons and adaptive shield systems. They moved in coordinated patterns, targeting weak points in the crystalline structures that human scientists had identified during the occupation. Your empire has existed for 10,000 years, Martinez continued her transmission to Ixel. You've conquered hundreds of worlds. But you've never faced humans before. We don't just adapt, we thrive on challenge. Every species you've defeated made you stronger, but they also made you predictable. In space, the battle raged. Valdorian ships shattered under precisely calculated sonic attacks. Human vessels took hits but adapted their shields in real time, learning from each impact. The darkness above Earth was filled with crystalline debris, sparkling like stars as it burned up in the atmosphere. Enemy flagship is attempting something, Kai warned. Massive energy buildup detected. They're going to try to crystallize the entire planet, Dr. Nazari's voice came through the comm, it's their extinction protocol, convert everything to crystal rather than admit defeat. Martinez's response was immediate. Execute Protocol Omega. All ships, converge on my position. The human fleet moved as one, forming a precise geometric pattern around the Prometheus. Energy began to flow between the ships, creating a unified field that mirrored the crystalline structure of the Valdorian vessels. Sir, Kai's voice was filled with awe, the quantum harmonics are perfectly aligned. We're ready. Humanity has imagined this moment for centuries, Martinez transmitted to all channels, both human and Valdorian. We've written stories about it, made films about it, prepared for it in 1,000 different ways. While you were conquering other worlds, we were teaching ourselves how to fight enemies exactly like you. The Prometheus and its escort ships fired as one. Their combined beam struck the Valdorian flagship, but instead of destroying it, the energy began to resonate with the ship's crystalline structure. The resonance spread to the surrounding fleet, creating a cascade effect that transformed the mighty armada into the galaxy's most expensive light show. Enemy flagship is transforming, Kai reported in disbelief. The crystalline structure is becoming organic. They're turning into carbon. On the main screen, the once mighty Valdorian fleet was becoming something new. The crystalline structures were being fundamentally altered at the atomic level, transformed into carbon-based materials that could no longer support their advanced technology. A gift, Martinez transmitted to the defeated Valdorians. A chance to understand what you've been fighting. Your bodies are now carbon-based, like ours. Perhaps now you'll understand why we fight so hard to survive. The reinforcement fleet arrived to find not a conquered Earth, but a graveyard of crystalline ships and a transformed Valdorian force. Their own weapons were useless against the quantum net, and Earth's defense fleet stood ready, its capabilities now proven beyond doubt. Humanity offers these terms, Martinez broadcast to all Valdorian ships. Return to your empire. Take with you the knowledge that Earth is not to be trifled with. We will share our technology with peaceful species, but we will respond to any aggression with overwhelming force. In the aftermath, as the Valdorian ships retreated and human vessels began the process of collecting valuable salvage, Admiral Martinez stood on the Prometheus's observation deck. Earth shone below, its cities already beginning to rebuild. "Send word to all commands," she ordered. "Operation Starfall is complete. Begin Phase 1 of Project Unity." Across the planet, hidden factories began to retool, converting from weapons production to peaceful technology. The knowledge gained from the Valdorians would transform human civilization, but not in the way the aliens had intended. Humanity had learned not just how to fight, but how to unite, how to prepare, how to turn defeat into victory. They chose war, Martinez mused, watching the last Valdorian ships disappear into deep space. But we wrote the ending. In the years that followed, Earth would emerge as a power unlike anything the galaxy had seen before, not conquerors like the Valdorians, but guardians. They shared their defensive technology with other species threatened by crystalline empires. They established protocols to help other civilizations prepare for invasion. They became what they had always imagined themselves to be, protectors of the weak, champions of the underdogs, teachers of survival. The price of underestimating humanity had been the transformation of the entire galaxy. And somewhere in the vast expanse of space, a carbon-based Valdorian race began to learn what it truly meant to be human. End of story.